Hey guys, welcome back to Vanguard Motor Sales. I'm Greg, and I'm standing in front of the baddest ass 67 Chevelle we've ever had here at the showroom. This thing's got a ZL1 all aluminum 427 under the hood. It's a 4-speed. It's got custom interior. It's been rotisserie restored. It's black and it is beautiful. And if you want to check out about 100 pictures of the car, go to our website at vanguardmotorsales.com. We're going to put it up on the lift so you can see how nice the bottom side is. We're going to pop the hood open and take a look at that 427. We're going to look at the Alligator in the interior. Best looking interior I've ever seen. We're going to look inside the trunk. We're going to show you everything you need to see so you can make a great decision on your 427 Chevelle investment. So come on up and we're going to fire it up for you right now. So check the beauty out, man. Now I tell you what, black don't lie, and this ain't lying at all. This car is straight as an arrow. All the chrome looks amazing. The grille looks good. The trim looks good. The emblems look great. It fits nice. Just amazing, the build on this car. And again, did I mention it's got a 427 under the hood? We've got a copy of the old ET Mags on here for wheels, which are looking killer. The doors are fitting nice and flush. The rocker molding looks good. The chrome on the vent window looks brand spanking new. All the trim around the windshield looks good. The drip edge looks good. The paint on that roof, look at those reflections. Amazing. And look at this interior in here. Beautiful. Look at all this. What a beautiful job they did. Probably one of the nicest custom interior jobs I've ever seen. The custom center console, they've got the electric windows mounted in there. And look at those inlays in the seats. Beautiful. Front and back match. Headliner's gorgeous. Dome lights working. She is beautiful in here, guys. Pull into any car show, nobody's going to have one like this. Look at the chrome on the steering wheel. Look at the chrome on the dash, the lenses on the dash, the faces on the gauges. Like I said, it was an amazing build. And then my favorite part to look at on every car, the door jambs. Look at the nice paint work here. Oh, I got the keys here somewhere in my pocket. We'll get in this trunk. Down the quarter panels, straight as an arrow. Chrome looks great. 427 badges on here. Look inside the trunk there. She is beautiful. That looks like a full Alligator right there. And again, the paintwork on the bottom side of the deck lid looks good. The lips here are nice and smooth. And look down the side of that. Straight as an arrow. That black paint is amazing. And look how nice that door fits. Now at Vanguard Motor Sales, we're not consignment dealers. That means we own all the cars here. So you can bet we've spent the time and checked them out before we bought them. When we bring them here to the shop, we inspect them so we can tell you all about the cars. Like this is a real aluminum 427. We verified that by the casting numbers. She's got 4-wheel disc brakes. We're going to tell you everything you need to know. Now we bring in about 40 new cars every month. So what that means to you is you're getting my 35 plus years of experience helping you pick out your dream car. All right, here we go for a ride, guys. 67 Chevelle 427. ZL1, all aluminum power, making power, driving great, looking great. This is an amazing vehicle, guys. So call Tom at 248-974-9513 and he'll tell you how easy it is to park this dream in your drive anywhere in the world. And if you need help with financing, we got you covered there too. We got a couple, 3 bankers we work with. 15-minute phone call with the bankers. This dream's in your drive. Now, we're right outside the Motor City, and we're only like 20 minutes from the airport. We'll even come down to the airport and pick you up if you'd like to come visit us and check this baby out. Now, we also go through the vehicles so you know everything about it before we park this dream in your drive. We're gonna get it up on the lift so you can see the bottom side. We're gonna get under the hood, take a look at that big block under the hood. We're gonna show you everything you wanna see so you can make a great decision on your muscle car investment. Now, we don't get a lot of visitors, but we'd love to have you come check it out. If you wanna drive out, we're here on Saturdays till 3 o'clock. Just call Tom and let him know you're coming. We're gonna get this thing turned around here so we can get a better shot of the dash here. We'll get the sun behind us. Look at the sun on that hood, man. Look at the reflections. You can see the blue sky, the nice white puffy clouds. You can see all the trees, the stop sign. You can see everything. This semi-truck trying to let me go and I'm gonna do a U-turn. He wanted to follow me. He wanted to check this beauty out. Look at that. She turns nice and tight, and listen to the exhaust. Man, this thing sounds awesome. Grab second gear, grab third gear, get around the corners. Like I said, take this to any show. It's gonna be a showstopper. You can't even go to the gas station in this thing without drawing a crowd. The car is amazing, guys. And this custom interior, I tell you, the guy who did the interior on this car is a stud. You can see the speedo's working. We got an aftermarket radio here. They're making music. Our 4-speeds here. We got electric windows. It's even got a little slider Alligator door here. I mean, it's an amazing ride, guys. So check it out on the website. Now stick with us. This is our shop right here at 15100 Keel Street. We're gonna put it up in the air now so you can check out the underside. Then we're gonna get under the hood and take a look at that 427.
Starting from the back forward, you can see that it's got a brand new gas tank in it. They did take this time to actually put insulators in between your straps and the tank, which also is a very nice addition here. Top of the tank feels really nice and clean too, so this tank was probably a very much so recent addition. Drop down over there looks good. Drop down over here also looks good. I did look at this car previously, so that's all nice. Does look like it has a brand new exhaust system on it as well. Looks like it was a pretty nice job. Looks like we do have brand new brake lines on it as well, slightly modified because this does have rear disc brakes on this as well. They are power, and we're going to see that up front here. This is a GM 12-volt rear end if you haven't already counted. The ratio that's in it is about a 3.55 to 1, which means that you do have a pretty decent street ability. You could hop this thing up on the freeway as long as you're not really cooking, and you can actually use this as a normal daily driver if you really were set in your mind to do so. I don't believe it is the original rear end for the car though, because the casting date is 1, implying it's probably a 71, which is more than fine and more than fair for this, and it's actually very nice. There's no pitting on it or anything like that, so probably a very nice addition to the car. All the bushings for our forward-link look like they're in very good shape. Let's see, it does look like the parking brakes are actually hooked up for these disc brakes, which is also, once again, a very big positive. Something else I'd like to point out too, we do have some pretty nice AN line here going to our tank. So we have AN line going into a Holley, yeah, I believe that is indeed a Holley electric fuel pump for this. So once again, upgrades going on all the way up to the top of the car here. The AN line continues to go all the way forward here, and you're going to see why it was necessary to put a bigger fuel line on it in just a second. Exhaust continuing to look good. This is actually a true dual setup, no H-pipe through here. Let's see, transmission here. This is a Muncie 4-speed. I believe it to be a 1968 model because of the suffix and casting number. So there's also that. Floorboards continuing to look good. Frame looks good. The brake line over here looks to be also a recent addition. Looks to be very nice. Looks like a pre-bent setup, which is something that a lot of stores offer nowadays. So you don't have to worry about bending it over your knee and having that sort of thing going on. So it's always nice to have the pre-bent stuff. Looks like a brand new brake line up here, just behind the cross member. While I'm talking about the cross member, as you can see, that a lot of these get very dented up as people like to run over things. Put jacks here. Very, very nice. No dents. Nothing I don't like to see. As far as the front end goes, Of course, we check all of our front ends out. Everything feels nice and tight, although we've got our alignment guys and our front end guys that really thoroughly go through these things and make sure that everything's fine. And this car checked out just fine. And like I said, or like you hear me often say, we have a digital alignment rack here. If anything, we ever find anything, the parts get replaced, it goes on the alignment rack and it gets set up correctly. Looks like a relatively new shocks in the thing. Springs look like they've been replaced at one point. You know, there's no pinning on them or anything like that. The sway bar looks like it's in good shape. All the bushings are there. It looks like relatively new end links. Ball joints look like they definitely have been done at some point. Those do look like a newer set of boots. Same thing with inner and outer tie rod ends. As you can see, it's all painted up nice and pretty. And this is the underside of our, well, I'm going to get to this in just a second. I'm going to have to refrain from talking about it too much because I really want to get into detail about this engine. It's very, very special. Outside of all that, frame rails look like they're in good shape. Another thing with these Chevelles is they like to rot right here in these low points of the frame here, and everything looks to be very nice and solid on these over here as well. And because it's being a low point here, you actually do get a lot of things that like to collect, and that's why they rot out. I can see brand new hoses under here, brand new belts under here. It looks like a brand new steering box. All good stuff. Let's take a look at the wheels and tires, and then we can get to the motor. Okay, for rolling stock, we do have a set of Z-rated tires here. The size is 250 or 225, 45 ZR17. You hear me say it all the time that Z is actually the speed rating for these wheels, and the speed rating always goes in front of your tire size or your R. So these are a little bit higher speed rated than typical tires, and you do have a pretty nice set of 5-spoke vintage Wheelworks wheels here. Very, very nice. It kind of almost looks like a torque thrust, but not quite. And once again, you got disc brakes in the front as you do in the rear as well. Very nice, and I like the two-piece looking design here. Very, very cool. Let's go check out the rear. All right, guys, back here, 285/40, once again, ZR17. Same good-looking wheel, and there's a reason why this is so much fatter back here. Something else I'd like to point out while we're back here, as I do on a lot of these cars that are really, really nice and worth pointing out, you don't see any bubbling, especially down here, which is where a lot of that stuff likes to start. Paintwork looks pretty nice in through here. The body guy took his time and did all of this in through here. You can still see a lot of the spot welding and such like that right here, which is also implies that the car is in pretty good shape. This is generally, you won't see any of this definition if the car has been cake full of Bondo, which, you know, this one, that feels to me like steel. So we're going to go take a look at the motor, and you're going to really see why this one's special. All right, guys, this is what really makes this car different. It's what sets it apart. This is a remake of the ZL1 motors from back in the day. So this is an aluminum block, well, I guess 454 block, but it's actual 454 bore, excuse me. But it's actually a 427. That's actually how GM sold this. So that would be internally balanced crank, you know, or zero balance. So we have 4-bolt mains with this thing. It was made in 1997. This is the second generation for this. So the second generation block that, you know, the ZL1 block. It does have a set of Edelbrock aluminum RPM Performer heads on it. It does have an aluminum intake on it as well, Performer RPM. The carburetor is also, you know, very, very, I guess, correct for a performance application. So it would be down leg boosters, mechanical secondaries, mechanical choke that is wired open. You don't need it. It's tuned properly. Just let it warm up. Outside of all of that stuff, I mean, it's a performance motor, and it does perform as such. So we also do have, looks like a stock style copper radiator in the thing. A little bit of an aftermarket hose here up on the big end. We do have, looks like V-belt still on it. Everything looks like it's in good shape. Power steering on this is the type where it has the divorced reservoir. We do have a chrome master cylinder and booster. We do have, like I mentioned underneath, we do have the brand new looking power steering box, and I can actually see the sticker on the power steering pump as well, implying that is new. Looks like a brand new proportioning block. All the wiring looks to be pretty nice, and I can also see that it looks like it has a vintage air setup in it too, because if we look off to the side over here, that looks to be the closeout panel for a vintage air box that was going to sit up underneath the dashboard, as opposed to the box that protruded out of the firewall stock on these. I can also see it looks like the firewall has definitely been cleaned up quite a bit. Once again, not a big surprise with these little bit higher end builds. See here, they have the nice sheathing on all the hoses. Once again, big old AN line going up to that carburetor I just talked about. Looks to be a K&N air filter, which is always good stuff. Battery hold down looks like it's doing its job. Once again, if I didn't mention it already, it does have a set of pretty nice headers on it. Big, fat, nice primary tubes. I'm also seeing a set of head studs on this thing as well. I believe it to be ARP, but don't quote me on that. But once again, head studs, implying that whoever put this thing together with the, I believe if I'm not mistaken, GM sold the bottom end as just like a crate short block, and then somebody assembled the rest of it, if I'm not mistaken. But all good stuff. I like to see what I'm seeing. Looks like the inner fenders are also in pretty good shape on it as well. I mean, you know, very nice paint job on them. Of course, no rot. But and they even have the sound deadening underneath the hood. All things you want to see, and I guarantee if you come in and call Tom, set up an appointment, come and drive this car, you put your foot down once or twice and you're going to fall in love with it. Come in, drive it, call Tom with the number below, and we're going to park this monster in your driveway.